I'm Karen Perkins, CEO and founder of Vault Rooms, and today I'm honored to speak with Don Glidewell. He is a valued client of Vault Rooms, speaking with him about his experience with us. Don is a managing director with Transworld Business Advisors, and he has been in this business for over 30 years, successfully negotiating and closing a multitude of business transactions. He's definitely mastered the art and number of the deals. So, Don, before we get started, tell me a little bit about your business and what you do.
Sure. With Transworld, we're in the business of assisting clients in selling their business or in acquiring a business. My 30 years of experience included not only business brokerage, but working with startups and even an IPO in there at one point. So years of transactional related business sales. So when I went into business brokerage, I sought out a tool similar to Vault Rooms and settled on Vault Rooms. So as a business broker, there really has been no time that I have not been using Vault Rooms. The search, though, included a number of different things, competitors of yours, if you will, that in my mind just did not have the security or the monitoring of activity that Vault Rooms brings to the table. My process, I believe that most business sales fall apart at the point you get into due diligence. And if you're not well prepared prior to bringing that deal to the table with an offer and acceptance, the whole deal falls apart if you don't have a good way to share due diligence data. And that's what I use Vault Rooms for. Well, so I use Vault Rooms in more than just due diligence. That was the motivation for using the Vault Rooms to begin with, was for the due diligence phase. But I quickly started to integrate it right into my marketing. So, the way business brokerage works of very small businesses is, you collect the information, you get the listing, and then you start using marketing efforts to get inbound leads that want to look at information. Well, normally what you'd have to do next is to send out a confidential business listing. You'd need to start tracking documentation such as the confidentiality agreements with these leads, which at this point are just prospects and leads. And so I use Vault Rooms also for the marketing phase, which is once I find somebody that's interested, they've signed a CDA, I deposit their CDA into Vault Rooms, and I open it up for them to look at a very low level. So there'll be a level 1, and we have 1 through 9. So somebody who has simply expressed interest, wants to see more, rather than mailing them a confidential business listing information, I will just give them access to Vault Rooms, and they can see any documents that I've assigned to be a level 1. Vault Rooms won my support based upon the willingness to allow a lot of users. Many of those other business models for your competitors, Dropbox and some other data sharing cloud alternatives, want to limit you to, say, 10 users. And I can have one deal that I've got 10 people looking at, and then you take that by 10 more deals going. Pretty soon, you could have quite a few users. They're not taking up a lot of space, but they need access. And so, the pricing model that we worked out well for me, because I've got a lot of tire kickers that come in, want to get in, get out, and then we purchase. Yes, and that's the other thing, and it's a sales pitch I use for my clients that are listing. Many people get very concerned about their numbers being out there. And so what I will typically do is get copies of their tax returns. I use a PDF editor to edit Social Security numbers out, maybe names or maybe addresses, depending on how confidential the client wants to be. But then in telling even still with it edited like that, the client just does not want to have that stuff floating around out there. So on every client, I set them up to be other users to be unable to download it Everything has a watermark on it. Occasionally, I'll get some pushback from some of the buyers that say, well, I want to share it with my attorney or I want to share it with my accountant. I say, that's fine. Just give me their email address. They can be added into users for the particular client you're looking at. And I am able to get rid of the objections of the potential buyers that, a lot of people who want to have it on paper where they can, where they can, look at it and analyze it. And, I just tell them that my clients aren't comfortable with you being able to print out a copy of their business plan, a copy of a prior tax return, and that Vault Rooms really helps maintain that. Now, I suppose somebody can do a screenshot, but then it's going to end up very clearly with the watermark. It says who took the screenshot, and if that gets floating around, you've got very actionable watermark. I have found your technical support. There's never been a time when I didn't get an answer on a question when I had a problem. I've been using it for 2.5 years, and I don't ever recall experiencing a time when it was not accessible. There's been a few times duly noted well in advance, you're down for system maintenance, and those have always been on, non-peak times, Sunday evenings or something, with plenty of notice, and they've never affected me. I've never run up against a point where, geez, I really need to access that document. Your downtime statistics must be phenomenal, because I just haven't run across a time when I couldn't access it and needed to. So it's been a great experience.